you to Synaptic 25-26, our annual Industry Institute Interface program where ideas meet innovation. This year, under the theme Neoterra Intelligence Reimagined, Futures Regenerated, we step into the new frontier of analytics where data becomes a lens to uncover hidden patterns, inspire bold strategies, and create solutions that redefine the future. Neoterra invites us to imagine a world rebuilt with intelligence, where every insight we gain today helps shape a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow. So let's embark on this journey together, celebrate the power of analytics, and explore the endless possibilities that await at Synaptic. Light symbolizes the triumph of wisdom over darkness, illuminating the path of knowledge and progress. As we light the lamp, we embrace new beginnings, enlightenment, and the pursuit of wisdom that will guide us on our journeys ahead. I now request our esteemed dignitaries to come forward for the lighting of the lamp. Education lays the foundation for a future filled with endless possibilities. In light of this, it is my privilege to invite our vibrant head of the department, Dr. R. Kasalingam, to deliver the welcome address, setting the stage for what promises to be an inspiring and insightful event.
Distinguished Chief Guest, most respected Director Sir, respected Dean Sir, my dear Faculty Coordinator and loving student, my dear colleagues and my dear student friends. Good morning to one and all present here. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all for the 2 days Industry Institute Interface event meant for data analytics students, that is Synaptics. So now, first of all, let me welcome our chief guest, who is the director in Standard Chartered Bank, who has graciously accepted our invitation, irrespective of her busy schedule, and she is one among us today. The Standard Chartered Bank is the multinational bank from Britain, and it is formed with the merger of Standard Bank and Chartered Bank. And it has acquired A&S Release Bank, Korean First Bank, and American Express Bank, and it has grown leaps and bounds. The madam is from such a big bank and a big global bank. She is going to be with us and she is going to share her ideas with you. Next, let me welcome our director, who is leader by excellence, who is instrumental in getting A+ for the university in the NAC accreditation. And though Sir is from science background, he shows a lot of enthusiasm and interest to get involved in the management studies events. Now let me welcome Sir once again. Now next let me welcome our Dean Sir. He is one among us, he is part of us. He is extending all kind of support in all our endeavors to make everything perfect. He expects the students and to do things in a most perfect manner. Let me welcome Sir. Next, let me welcome our faculty coordinator, Kavin Madam, who is dynamic and hardworking personality and shown exemplary involvement and commitment to make this event successful. In fact, she is doing it for the second time coordinating this event. Let me welcome Madam. Next, let me welcome student chairperson Pavitra. So she is elected as a chairman for the Synaptics this year. So this is the event of students. It is event for the students and carried out by the students. It is for their benefit. They have shown lot of interest and commitment to make this event error-free. Let me welcome you all for this event. Now, as a HOD, I have to tell something about the department and course. This is the course which has received a lot of application. The demand ratio is highest among all PG courses in the university. Now, we are sending our students to European countries for doing the exchange semester, almost with free of cost through Erasmus funding, which has become a USP for which is attracting students to come here. And apart from that, we have made our syllabus a skill-based course. Yesterday I was inaugurating some course on National Apprentice Promotion Scheme, where we were talking about skill development. The government of India is giving more and more importance to skill development. That is the reason we have made our syllabus as skill-oriented syllabus. For example, we have converted OR into OR lab, where they will be doing the OR with software applications. Now, what is this event? This is the event, Industry Institute Interface event. We are teaching something in the class, but the students, they are expected to know what is happening in the industry. They should get involved with the industry. So in that process, we are also establishing connections with the industry. And it end up in getting placement. So mainly though we start with establishing connections, so it should culminate into getting placements. That is the ultimate focus. The other day, Vaichan also was telling, so we are getting students from Pondicherry. Some of the students are poor students, sir. The main focus should be placement. So we are giving more emphasis for that, and that is why we are collecting people from different industries, across areas, across regions. So now this year event is about a new terra. It is new earth. Now when we say new earth, it is not defined by geography, but it is defined by the data. Now data is the talk of the universe. It is the new oil. And we are flooded with the data generated from sensors, IoT, and many other sources. Now, see, we have to use effectively. See, the person who is successful, who is called a successful person? The person who is using the data effectively is called the successful person in the world. Now, the other theme they are talking about, intelligence reimagined. Now, in olden days, whenever we talk about intelligence, we say it is IQ, what quality you have in solving the problems. Now, we say emotional intelligence, social intelligence, ecological intelligence, where and how the intelligence is applied. So, the intelligent is reimagined in different ways, in different aspects. Next is future reshape, reimagined. So, now the future, how it will be. Though we cannot predict the future. One time, 2 days back, one of the non-teaching person, he was telling, When we have organized one seminar, one gentleman was there as a guest, he was telling, see, people are now, they are fighting for water from other states. It will not go away because the importance given to agriculture will be reduced, where people will be using more and more information-based technology, where most of the income will be generated out of that. So what emphasis what we are giving might change. So we need not worry about it. That is what he has stated, it seems. How nicely he has predicted some time back, who was a chief guest to us. Now the future will definitely change. It will be a shock to many people. So that Alvin Toffler, he was telling, so who is called uneducated? Person who is not read and write? No. People cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. He is considered as illiterate. So the future will be bringing in new changes to us. When you take analytics, we will be using AI into analytics, AI into ML. We will be using real-time analytics, where data is simultaneously processed, simultaneously inferred, simultaneously decision is taken. Right? So whether it may be real-time analytics or augmented analytics. Now the people are talking about a data democratization. The decisions on data should be used by a person who is not having knowledge about this technology. How we are going to make it? Now we talk about edge technology, edge analytics, where the data is generated, analytics done then and there itself. We talked about data fabric, where data will not be generated from one source, it will be generated from many sources through cloud, and it will be combined and it will be analyzed and generated. Now, when we talk about ChatGPT, we do not know the sources, but we have AI with explainable analytics, where we will tell not only the sources, it will be more transparent. So like that, we are transforming into new areas. It will be applied for health. If you look at the companies, the country Israel, it is a small country, but it is challenging everybody by using AI. They have used AI in agriculture to make it irrigation efficient, making resource management efficient. When we look into the company Tesla, they are using the AI for self-driven technology. Not only that, for all management purposes, for example, preventive maintenance, they are doing with AI, and quality management, they are doing with AI. Right? So, many, not only Tesla, many companies. For example, when Chandrayaan-3 lander was landed in the moon south pole, they could find that the surface is not smooth. They have sent a sensor and they have identified, they have changed a little bit and they have landed successfully. So we have used AI. AI will be used each and every field, and so we should make ourselves efficient. For example, when you take research, we have LSIT, where we can generate all the review of literature we can do very efficiently. I was doing Claude, where we can write a project proposal without any difficulty. Right? We have notebook. We have Nano Banana. Right? So there are like that many tools are there for effective research, for effective content creation. DALL-E, images we can create. So we will take more and more new things. But when you are getting involved into that, learning new things will not be difficult. So now I am trying to learn new things because I have something. But one thing let me tell you, when you are in technology, when you want to stand in a place, you cannot simply stand. You have to run, then only you can stand in a place. So the future, definitely it will bring changes. It may not be a big shock, but definitely there will be some changes will come. We have to equip ourselves to manage. Let me tell you finally, the future is going to be data analytics. Future is going to be with the data. Now the successful person and unsuccessful person is defined with the help of what extent you use. So let me request everybody, let us start using data for effective and efficient management. So let me say, wish everybody to have a fruitful 2 days ahead. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Dr. S. Kavan Mary, whose vision and guidance have been instrumental in bringing Synaptic 2526 to life, to share with us the scope and significance of this event.
A very good morning to the dignitaries on stage. A good morning to all the professors from the Department of Management Studies, guests, invited speakers, and my dear students. It is a pleasure to be standing here to introduce the scope of Synaptic. Now, it is always a daunting task to follow Professor Kasilingam because I believe that he's already done my task for me. Yeah, he's already introduced the theme. So as a result, it makes my job a little redundant. However, as my role as a faculty coordinator, I would like to add a few points to the theme. The theme for Synaptic 2025-26 has been decided by the students, and it is Neoterra, intelligence reimagined and futures regenerated. Now, 25 years ago, when I did my MBA, yes, I'm that old. 25 years ago when I did my MBA, they were talking about a paradigm shift. The world is undergoing a paradigm shift, and the word paradigm means the way in which things are done. So in terms of business, in terms of how things happen with the dot-com boom, the world underwent a change. There was internet proliferation everywhere. Now, once again, after November 2022, with ChatGPT, becoming popular, the world is once again undergoing a change in the way things are being done. So, in terms of, and artificial intelligence has impacted every aspect of our life. It is not just industry, academics as well. We are now teachers use artificial intelligence tools. As sir mentioned, we use it to enhance the teaching that we do. And it is impacting student lives. So you use ChatGPT for reference purposes. And so as a result, these technologies have reshaped or rechanged how we do or how we deal with everyday life. Having said that, there have been a lot of transformational changes that have come in, and the skills that are needed to manage today's life have become significantly challenging. We are talking about artificial intelligence. We are talking about super intelligence. I stood on the stage 1.5 years ago, and I said, that the human brain is a marvelous thing, and artificial intelligence can replicate some of the things that we do. But today, in these 1.5 years, there has been a dramatic leap in terms of what AI can do. We are talking about AI agents. We are talking about AI as co-workers in the workspace. We are talking about even consulting jobs at McKinsey getting replaced by AI. So the landscape has completely transformed in a very short span of time. So in order to manage this, there needs to be a significant leap in terms of intelligence, cognitive intelligence, ecological intelligence, because there are concerns that yes, AI is developing, but we are rather harming the environment more now rather than before, with data centers, also becoming a source for global warming. So there is concern about that. But having said that, this theme has been decided because we are also optimistic about the future. Let me give you one specific example of an interaction between an uncle and his niece. Okay, there is this gentleman who meets his niece, a 5-year-old niece, after a long time. So she sees that there is a blue color deer on his shirt. Yeah, she sees the deer and she looks at it and says, "Hello, boy deer." And so this gentleman thinking, in terms of stereotyping, so he tells his niece, girls also like blue. So the deer could be a girl. And the niece looks at him. She's 5 years old. And she looks at him and she tells him, it's a boy deer because it has antlers. Yeah, it's a boy deer. And he is stunned. Here is a person with a college degree, who's, underestimated the intelligence of a 5-year-old child. So what does it mean? That we are raising digital natives, children who have been born with technology, who are growing up with technology. So as a result, we cannot underestimate their cognitive intelligence. Cognitive intelligence is also on the rise, and that's the reason why we are optimistic about the future. Given that, what are we trying to accomplish with this two-day event? This two-day event is supposed to bring us students up to speed with concepts like AI and fintech. We are looking at a session on supply chain analytics. We are also looking at EQ Edge. We believe that, the one thing that AI cannot do or cannot replace, yes, creativity, we've seen it with Ghibli art, being able to replicate Ghibli art, but the one thing that it cannot do is emote or think contextually like humans do. So I may be standing 1.5 years down the line and I may be retracting my statement and saying AI can also do that. So we are going to talk about these things in detail today. Tomorrow there are 2 panels that are planned. The first panel will be a panel on democratizing data, making data available for all managers. So management is empowered with data, so that we have expert speakers who will be talking about augmented AI. They will be talking about cloud and edge analytics. They will also be talking about how do we future-proof our jobs. Given that AI is taking away jobs, how are we going to future-proof our jobs? So they're going to be talking on topics like that in panel 1. Panel 2 is going to be humanizing technology. Now, in today's newspaper, the Minister for Electronics and IT, our Honorable Minister, has said that the DPDP Act, which talks about data privacy, that act, the rules will be finalized by 28th of September. Also, AI regulation, norms regarding AI regulation will be finalized. So, our ministry is currently on the job, But, however, there are concerns regarding ethics, ethics in terms of data collection, maintenance, privacy issues, and what can we allow AI to do and what can we not allow AI access to. So there are concerns regarding that. So the second session deals with humanizing technology. Let me conclude with a small anecdote as to why we need to humanize technology. Once again, we have a precocious 5-year-old child. So they have a cat at home, they have a cat as a pet. So the father feeds the cat. What does the cat drink? Milk. The cat drinks milk. Okay, so what does he do? He fills a bowl of milk, keeps it on the floor, and he suddenly gets a call. So he steps out of the room. So leaving the cat, a bowl of milk, and a 5-year-old boy. Okay, and he comes back. And he comes back to see that the cat is drenched in milk. It's taken a bath in milk. So he asks his 5-year-old, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And the 5-year-old turns around and says, he looked a little bit hot and dry. And he's going to lick himself anyway. If you think about it, that's irrefutable logic. Irrefutable logic. The cat is hot and dry, so it needs to be cooled down. And he's going to lick himself anyway, so the milk is going to be consumed. So that's irrefutable logic. But at the end of the day, you have one miserable, drenched cat. Yeah? So as a result, AI can understand human logic, yeah, but does it understand the needs of the world? Yeah, that is still a question, and that we would like to find some answers to in panel 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for providing such a clear and inspiring insight into the vision of Synaptic 2526. It is a pleasure to welcome Professor P. Natarajan, Dean of the School of Management at Pondicherry University, to Synaptic 2526. An award-winning educator and visionary leader, Professor Natarajan has been instrumental in fostering academic excellence, research collaborations, and innovation. It is with great honor that we invite him to deliver the inaugural address.
So the most respected president of this occasion, Professor Dharnikarasu, Director of Studies and Vice Chancellor in charge today, and the chief guest of the day, Ms. Aisarya Balasubramanian, Director, Standard Chartered Bank, and most beloved friend, Dr. Kasilingam, who is heading the Department of DMS, and presently he has become a Dean in charge of School of Law. And my dear colleagues, faculty friends working in the Department of Management Studies and other departments, and the powerful and very silent executor and the coordinator of the program, Kevin Mary, who gave a powerful talk now, and my dear lovable students, good morning one and all. I deem it as a great pleasure to inaugurate this momentous occasion of the Institute Industry Interface event, which is popularly coined as Synaptic. The DMS is consistently following good things. So they conceived annual Industry Institute Interface for a long time in the name of Synapse. When they are starting MBA General, they started Synapse. And in continuation of that, few years back, just 2-3 years back, they started MBA Data Analytics. And immediately they they applied their mind and what we have to name the annual industry interface event. Then they brought the Synaptic, Synapse and Synaptic. Again, both of them are very closely connected. When we have some insight about the neurons in our brain, neuron cells, how it moves each other, how it communicates, how fastly it communicates. So when you look into that, definitely we could understand the meaning of the term synaptic. Okay. So in that way, the naming the event really make the event very memorable throughout the life of the student community, and they are cherishly commemorating this event when they are visiting the campus after 10 years, 20 years. So that is how this annual industry interface is being organized by DMS for a long time in a consistent manner. This time they gave a title, Neo Terra. All of you may be knowing, as a student, you may be, because it's coined by you, you may be knowing it. And really I am very much impressed to see the title as well as theme behind it, Intelligence Reimagined and the Futures Regenerated. So these two words really inspire everyone, and thereby you have to sizzle yourself. I don't want to call you to mold yourself. You have to sizzle yourself in such a way, thereby you can be a very successful data analytics professional. So this analytics is not the emerging concept, but it is one of the age-old concept which has regenerated in the present day context in a very high speed, because we are in a very fast-changing environment. That's why usage of technology is very much imperative in the present day context, and with which the analytics become very popular. That too with the advent of artificial intelligence, and data analytics is very, very important, and that's why in every sphere of economic activity we are using. Not only economic activities, social activities also they have started using the analytics application. At the same time, we cannot substitute the human intelligence. No? So we have to, that is why it has to coexist. Human intelligence and artificial intelligence should coexist. Then only we will be able to have, again, edge. The human intelligence have edge over the artificial intelligence in the form of EQ edge. So that's why they have nicely coined a program on that also. EQ edge. EQ edge will succeed at all time. So otherwise it will be a kind of more mechanical or machine oriented. So mere machine oriented may not be good, and it has to be mind oriented and heart oriented also. So that is, in that way, the human intelligence cannot be substituted by anything. But with when we take into account the scale of operations in any sphere of activity, it is very mammoth in the present day context. That's why we are badly in need of technology, and that's how technological developments are taking place in very many areas. And the department has identified the two very good experts, more than a kind of dozen experts, in the form of a 2-panel session, 5 plus 5, 10 members, 10 experts, industry experts are coming and going to address you. And in addition to that, they have called 3 very popular and seasoned resource person to give a talk on AI and EQH and supply chain analytics. A giant in the field of supply chain is sitting in front of us, who is able of delivering the best. You are able to get the best from anywhere and everywhere. So one of the example is our friend who is sitting here going to talk about supply chain management concept, who has been working in that area for a long time. So he is the really fittest person. That too, we have to have a pride that he is from Chennai. So in that way, we are having a highly resourceful persons in and around us, and the students are able to identify such resource persons and brought it here so as to showcase the talents of our student community. Sir, this DMS is having a very good number of students, and we are shaping them in all possible way by creating competencies and make them compatible to survive anywhere and everywhere, and thereby they are able to show their creativity. So competency, compatibility and creativity, this is the mantra of this school. And in line with that mantra, we are trying to launch a program with the support of students also. This program is totally conceived, planned and executed by the students. So in a way, they are able to showcase their organizing ability of industry institute interface. So really, in that way, definitely a lot of teamwork is being taking place so as to make the event very successful. In that way, really our students' efforts are highly laudable. And again, when we look into the concepts of panel discussion, title for panel discussion, which was highly highlighted by the Professor and Head, Dr. Kasilingam, as well as Madam Kavin Mary. So every aspect is taken into account, thereby the deliberation will be holistic. So not only highlighting the data analytics aspect, in what way it will be efficient, it will be effective, and it will give job opportunities and all. On the other hand, how to make use of it, that is also very much essential. And this concept is not new, I said. Long before our elders, our youngsters, they have propounded so many things in a very innovative way, and such thinking has lasted so many years. There is a statistic says 150 years ago we stopped thinking, our realistic thinking. This is one prediction. Advocate, 150 years ago we forget to have a deep thinking. Now we are talking about it deep technology and other thing. No? But this, what the reality, that's how a lot of innovative contributions are not coming up in the recent. Of course, we are able to manage things, but the realistic contributions are less. And when we look into our old ancient epics, Tiruvasakam and other thing, they used to say, Arndu Agendra Nunniyane. They used to mention the individuals, Arndu Agendra Nunniyane. Means we have to have a very broad and deeper thinking. So then only we will be able to make out a lot of micro decisions very effectively, with which we can contribute our best. So this kind of thinking was there some 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, but which has lost. That's why still we are talking about Tiruvalluvar, we are talking about Tirumular in Tirumandiram. No? These are all very famous, wonderful contribution which cannot be substituted anywhere and everywhere. So such kind of rich heritage of literatures are available in everywhere in India. Just I am citing it on the southern part of India, and there are a lot of rich literature sources are there. That also we have to get into. And one more classical example I want to tell you is you might have heard about a kind of a breed of people called Avadani. Avadani, have you heard? Astavadani, Dasavadani, Sadavadani. So the Sadavadani means a person who can do 100 works at a time. 100 works at a time. Now we are talking about multitasking people, no, just for manual work. And such manual work could be replaced by machines now. So all mundane tasks could be taken up by the kind of robot and other thing, no, with artificial intelligence. But the creativity should come from the heart. And for which again, we use the concept, many of you might have heard the concept, heuristics. Have you heard? Madam talked about cognitive ability. No? So we have a beautiful brain, but most of us are not using the brain. Our brain seems to be very fresh. Now we can sell it at a higher price, but we have to use the brain very well. And that's how there is a saying that we have two sides of the brain, two parts of the brain, left brain and right brain. As youngsters, we try to make use of our right side brain, which in turn paves the way for making creativity. So once the creativity works well, innovations will come. What is innovation? Making a trivial change in existing thing is an innovation. And innovation is the order of the day. Innovation is the gateway for growth. So when it is the case, why don't we think? No? So that is why I said we have to make the statement false. Our people started thinking. And he said about the generations now. She has highlighted a small anecdote. A 5-year girl, niece, how she has managed that so-called the graduated guy. So that there we are going to, especially you people, we are all boomer generation. No, but you people are, people have to manage the alpha generation guys. Alpha generation guys are all AI children. They born with AI. They born with AI, as she has rightly pointed out. Managing them will be very difficult. When you are a CEO of a company, they will be your subordinates. They will be your subordinates. Just imagine how you have to. No, so you have to, right now, we are all called, I am proudly calling myself, our age group, as a sandwich batch. No, we are working with the X generation, Y generation, as well as we are looking into the Z guys, like you, the Zoomers generation also. So in that, we have to survive and succeed. It needs a kind of lot of updation in itself. So this conference initiated by the data analytics students, you have to keep in mind that we have to work for data generation and data validation and data presentation. No? When we talk about data creation, as such, that role of ethics is very much essential. Humanizing the data, ethics, trust and design in the digital age. That is very much essential. Don't compromise. You have to groom yourself as a analyst professional. So when you are a data analyst professional, definitely you have to have certain what's called the basic competencies in you. Certain basic competency in you which cannot be compromised for any cost. Of course, knowledge on nuances on data analytics is called the technical competency. But basic competency leads to success. 80% of our success lies on basic competency, only 20% on professional competency. So you have to proficient yourself in the field. Okay. On the other hand, you have to be very proficient in your basic competency also, then only you will be able to succeed. So that is why I am very particular in emphasizing the word competency. And in that, you should not forget your basic competency, which gives more emphasis on the human side of you, not on the technical knowledge only. Technical knowledge is required. At the same time, how to make use of it without harming others. How to make use of it judiciously. How to make use of it for the betterment of the society, economy at large. So when it happens, automatically the professionals, so-called the data analyst professional, they will be able to generate data and convert the data into information, and such information will be timely supplied to management for making various decisions, time to time decisions and timely decision. So in that way, the ethics, humanizing the technology, ethics, trust and the design in the digital age is very much essential in the present day context. That side is also covered. So in that way, the concept has been designed holistically and planned in such a way that our students will be getting greater insight in the more realistic way. Thereby you can sizzle yourself in the right perspective and you can be a good analytical professional. So what you need as a professional is you have to have a proficiency and you have to have expertise. The proficiency comes from your knowledge, what you are gaining here, skill sets, what you are acquiring. It all gives you a kind of proficiency. And then you have to practice it. So that gives you expertise. Okay. So proficiency and expertise will make you a kind of holistic person, make you a kind of holistic executive, wherein you can manage the challenges very well. And while when you are working in the contemporary environment, definitely you have to face a lot of constraints. And as a manager, you have to keep in mind that managerial positions are not bed of roses. Managerial positions are bed of roses with full of thorns. But you have to have the habit of laying in the bed and sleep well. So that art need a kind of heuristics also. Heuristics is an inbuilt ability of cognitive ability of individuals. And once when you are shaping our heuristics very well, definitely we will be able to ensure our common sense, which in turn helps a lot to make decision in very many situations, rather than the bookish knowledge. So that a heuristics approach, which is technically called as mental shortcuts. By using mental shortcuts, we may be able to make a lot of judicious decision and a timely decision very efficiently, effectively. And that too, when we have some ICT exposure, definitely we will be able to fine-tune it and improvise it also. So don't forget that you have to develop your heuristic ability. Now, heuristics ability, which in turn connected with the cognitive domain. And once you are sharpening your cognitive domain very well, you will be able to think well, think effectively, think on a timely basis with which you will be able to address. And once when you are able to do that, your kinetic energy will be improving. Kinetic energy, potential energy, you can convert your potential energy into kinetic energy. Once when you are doing that, definitely we can rock the world. We can rock the world. That is what India needs. India is having good amount of population. Lot of graduates we are making up every year on year we are bringing younger. But unfortunately, many graduates are unemployable. So unemployability is the problem in India. Unemployability is the problem in India. How to overcome that? For which, as a student, you have to concentrate on proficiency and expertise, and then you have to make use of your heuristics very effectively, and you have to develop your competency, all possible competency, basic competency and professional competency, and thereby you will be a full-fledged person who are capable of working anywhere and everywhere, and you can be a geocentric personality also at the end. So with this few message, knowledge on this Institute Interface event of 2 days will really shape you. I don't want to use the word mold you. No, molding is something different. But though it comes under pattern, no, but that pattern we have to sense, we have to identify, we have to see. Again, for which I used to tell about ant-colony mechanism, ant-colony optimization technique. Just by a small creature ant, we can see how it has developed a route from the source of, from the place of its residence to source of food. And once when you are looking into and see the pattern, you will be able to understand that how optimally it has designed its route. Isn't it? So just from small creature we are learning. So this kind of openness is also very much essential for the student community. Thereby we will be able to bring back the so-called the talents what our elders, our old people have had earlier, with which they are able to make a lot of contribution. Such things should also come. We can be an imitator, but how long we can be an imitator? We have to be innovator also. So that is why this analytics, especially, I'm giving an appeal to all the youngsters sitting here. So you have to be an innovator. Of course, to start with, imitation is not a harm, but how long we have to imitate, that is also there. So that is why try to inculcate a kind of innovation ability in that. While talking about data analysis, data is immensely essential, but at the same time, it should not give a loophole for redundant exercise, for which I am telling you small concept, what is called GIGO concept. Have you heard? GIGO. GIGO. Garbage in? It is perfectly hold good for data analysts and data analysis practices. So don't think about, we are talking about big data analysis, okay? But such a big data analysis should not be done for destructive purpose. It should be for constructive purpose. So what is the data we are generating? No? And that data will give information which we are using for decision making, and thereby output will come. So that is why when garbage is in, only garbage will out. This is how jovially our elders used to say. மண்டையில் குப்பையை போடாத, நல்ல விஷயங்களை போடு, நல்லவங்களை பாரு, நல்லதை கற்றுக்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்கள்ல. அவங்க சொல்கிறது இட்ஸ் a moral. But that moral is very well connected with data analytics, very well connected with GIGO concept. That is why with this message, once again, I am very happy to congratulate every one of you for conceiving this wonderful idea, and see that every one of you should be getting benefit out of it. Apart from attending all other work, hospitality work and all, you have to attend to the sessions also. Thereby you can learn the great insights delivered by the resource person. With this, once again, I extend my warm greetings to all the faculty members, and especially the head of the department and the coordinator, Kavin Mary. Thank you, one and all.
Yeah, respected Dean, School of Management, Professor P. Nadarajan, and Professor R. Kosalingam, Professor and Head of Department of Management Studies, and Dr. S. Kavin Mary, faculty coordinator for Synaptic 2025 and 26. And Ms. Aishwarya Balasubramanian, all the way she has come from Chennai, who is a director of Standard Chartered Bank. All the student coordinators and faculty members from DMS as well as from other departments, and the resource persons who are going to talk today and tomorrow about the some of the important topics related to data analytics. And good morning, everyone. It is indeed great pleasure to be part of this Synaptic 2025-26. So a separate industry, a separate program, industry academic program for MBA data analytics. So when it comes to data analytics, it is basically you deal with big data as well as the any data which you covered, which you received from the any survey, all those things. But I think your teachers are teaching about how to handle this, what are the different tools when you take a decision, all those things. But a good, I personally feel, a good CEO should also have wide knowledge about the topics. Unless otherwise you have a basics about or background about the particular topic or particular field, you cannot effectively utilize the tools, whatever the tools, and you cannot effectively take decisions also. So in general, MBA student means MBA, even after completing it, if you become a manager, so you have to have a wide knowledge about all the topics and the emerging topics. It is not like basically I am from chemistry. So if you have basics, then you can throughout your career you can teach basics, and only in research you need to learn about what is recently emerging. Whereas as a teacher, so you can manage with the basics. The Boyle's law, when I studied, and today both are same. Henry law, Boyle's law, thermodynamics, first, second. But it is not so for whether it is MBA teachers or MBA students. It is fastly emerging. So in this scenario, so you have to update yourself. A good CEO should have a wide knowledge about what is really going on, and also you have to have an approach of how to resolve the issues, both traditional as well as out of box. So for this, you have to also have the responsibility, you have to also understand the responsibilities of this. So maybe you are now concentrating on studies, and then you will be expecting a placement. Then after this, so once you placed, then your the question will be whether I have to manage with whatever the task is given, or really I have to put myself into the scenario where I will be the person who solves the problems of the global problems, global challenges, and the India's challenges, all those things, it is you are the person who is going to give the ideas. To give the idea based on the data, you should have the background of those challenges. For example, if you take the war between the Ukraine and Russia, and based on this, now the US is 50% tariff on India. So what is the basic reason for this? Maybe you are talking about only 50% tariff, all those things. And the reason behind this is energy. The real reason is energy. Why India is buying the oil from Russia? So if you understand maybe it is a business. Main reason is a business, but behind the scene, the real reason is the energy. If you take the energy reserves for US, you may be knowing it. We are using the fossil fuels. This fossil fuel will not last long. So this fossil fuel may last for another maximum 40 days, 40 years, 50 years, like this. So after this, what we have to do? What is the source of our energy? This puts America into think that we have to reserve all our crude oil, coal, everything. They want to put it under reserve, and they want to always import, so that the whole world may not have petrol. On that day, US will have the petrol. This is their intention. For this, they are buying from out. Now, interestingly, you may be reading about this. Interestingly, India is buying oil from Russia. In 2020, it was only 2.5. Now it is more than 35% we are importing from Russia. And interestingly, we buy, and as a crude oil, we refine it, and we are selling outside India also. And that oil, even US is buying also. So all those things, if you want to understand everything, the basic idea you have to understand why this is happening, why the war is taking place, why during war the oil selling, oil buying, everything is bring into picture. So what is the role of energy? All those things you have to basically understand. And if you see the oil, crude oil, the engine, whatever we use, whether it is a petrol engine or diesel engine, we cannot convert more than 33%. The rest of 67% will go as waste. So once it goes, the major portion is going as waste. Only minor portion we are using for the energy, converting the petrol into kinetic energy. So since major portion is going as waste, that pollutes the environment. Again, environment pollution comes. You may be seeing the Delhi, how difficult to survive in Delhi. Every day issues are there. It is already in red zone. So all these issues, if you want to really go for the solution, definitely you are the people to give the solution. But you should understand the basics, why this is happening. So little bit about, if not in depth, at least little bit about scientific background also, the basics of science and basics of life science, all those things also important. Don't go with only tools and then giving solution. Sometime without background, if you try to find out the solution, it may not be useful also. But that is the only piece of advice I would like to give on this industry academic get together. And with this, I thank the Department of Management Studies for organizing this 2-day event, Synaptic, separately for data analytics MBA students. So all the resource person who will come, and the chief guest who are going to give the talk for the students, and the event managers and the students, all are, it is very good experience for you also to organize a function. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. We are honored to have here with us Ms. Aishwarya Balasubramanian, Director, Standard Chartered Bank, as our chief guest. With experience in the banking and financial services industries, Ms. Balasubramanian has been at the forefront of digital transformations in corporate and institutional banking. In her current role, she leads the product management for global cash APIs, driving the bank's open banking strategy and delivering multi-million-dollar initiatives across the Asia-Pacific region. She is also an active speaker at industry forums, sharing insights on agile practices and digital innovations. Ma'am, your gracious presence adds immense value to our event. We now invite you to address the gathering.
First of all, it's been a great honor to be present here today for the Synaptic. Has reached out to me. I was very glad to be here because data is something very close to me. I've been working in bank for almost close to 2 decades now, and data is something we breathe in, I would say, day in and day out. And I thought it would be very aptic that I can be here and share my thoughts with you all today. So I would like to have this conversation a bit more interactive. I see students' faces very serious. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it, with energy going around. So, a small introduction about me. I started my career as a business analyst, and I could relate to you all. You're all data analysts now. So, from there, I've just seen how the bank had transformed. I literally say I've also evolved together with the changes in the banking. So, if I may have to ask a question, like how do you pay your college fees? Online, GPay, UPI, and all, right? But I think people in dais, including myself, we would have went to the bank, requested for a DD, demand draft, and then or a check. So we had to wait in the queue, spend several hours, literally standing there, and then getting the things done. What you could do today is sitting on your sofa comfortably, at a click of a button, you're making a payment, right? That's the transformation. That's how the banking has evolved. But behind that, you should, see what is behind that. It's a data engine that sits silently and doing its job day in and day out, 24/7. For any payment that you do, you're happily getting it done in a minute, but behind that there's an algorithm which keeps running. So that is an important of how data plays today with so much of growth or paradigm shift in the banking as an industry. So today I'm going to talk about the data revolution in banking and financial services and what we call those days intuition or gut feel to how it has evolved to something that is algorithm-driven. Decision making have moved from gut to algorithm. So that is something I want to take you all 30 minutes, maybe be with me 30 minutes, and it's going to be really interesting, I bet. So I'll be talking about data revolution in BFSI, which is how it has come from gut to algorithm, and harnessing data in banking. And also, I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, which is episodic to interactive data, and there is also an invisible engine, which is on e-commerce platforms. And I'll also touch base upon, ma'am has also talked about it, and sir has also talked about it, which is on data governance, especially in the age of AI. What are the things, do's and don'ts of that? Okay, while you think, I'll try to stage a story here, right? So imagine in 1980s, I know most of you all are late 90s or 2000. Okay, 80s, yeah. So in 80s, if a person, like any corporate would want to apply for a loan, they'll have to really go into the bank, piles of data. Even now, I believe sir would, in the future session talk about supply chain. So where you have a lot of data, documentation, processes which cannot, something that you cannot avoid even today, right? So those days, when you go and apply for a loan, you have to visit the branch multiple times, especially that is called personal relationship. The person who's applying for a loan get into a personal relationship with a person, creating a goodwill, earning a trust, and then only your loans will get approved. Basically, basis your how you are you being seen in a community, how is your bank balance, how is your certain elements, and basis that a loan would be sanctioned. Right? It's more on a gut feel. Okay, a branch manager would decide, should I give a yes or no answer? Should I offer a loan or don't offer a loan, right? But let's fast forward to today. If you open any mobile banking application, even we do it for corporate, a corporate can apply for a loan at just click of a button. And the loan is also approved in a milliseconds, in a fraction of seconds, I would say. But how drastically is it? What has it really changed? Where it took days and months to really understand how your credit worthiness, or will you come under defaulter, or lot of elements into it and personal element into it coming into a picture without making a biased decision. Even biasing is something that can come when you do with your personal relationship. So all of that as an influencing factor those days, right? But now that's completely has changed. So what it took so much days and hours are getting completed. What is behind that? So how does a loan gets approved in seconds? What is sitting behind that is an algorithm. So what does an algorithm do? It really understands you as a person. For example, if Aishwarya is a person who's applying for a loan, who is Aishwarya? It understands my data. It understands my pattern, like how I pay, how I do shopping, where do all I spend, how much I earn. All of this data, not from only your standard source, which is your statement from the bank, but today there is more intelligence to it. There are alternate sources. There are alternate, when I tap on a POS machine at a merchant site, or when I pay a utility bill. So all of this alternate data has also been sourced in, fed in, and basis that it not only decides whether a loan to be approved or not, it is also going in an extra state and say whether she will become a defaulter, or is this a pattern, or will she be able to, complete her loan, and what is the, percentage of interest that a person should be given. So all these are the analytics. Analytics is nothing but getting into a detail of data and doing a split of the values and say how it adds meaning into the journey. How I add meaning there, how I add validation there. So that is exactly what banks are doing today. So you can very well see how banks are promoting at a click of a button you get a loan. But how do they get all these data? So that is something becomes a drastic change. What earlier days we used to do it for longer hours, now it's come down. And also it becomes more, I would say, avoids risk. Because when a person is giving a loan or doing something only basis a gut feel, there are chances that it go wrong. You could see many banks went on bankrupt because of a bad loans. We have seen so much of bad loans, and it also adds more things to our economy as well. So, but in order to avoid that, what is important is the data behind the scene, which is running day in and day out. So we know that data is important. We just spoke about it, right? You know what? Every bank, every institution, even universities or every institution, colleges, schools, are sitting on a mountains of data. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Yes? Yes? We are sitting on mountain of data. But what are we doing about it? College, you're all having so much of data. What are you doing about it? Sorry?
Organize and analyze.
Okay. What do you do about it? So that is the process. That what is the outcome? What is an outcome? You have a data, right? You need to understand this concept. Then you understand what you will be doing in your future roles, in jobs. You have a data, right? That is where data analyst, strategist, data scientist come into a picture. How do I get insights out of the data? If you give me a university data, I will slice and dice the data, and I will take the data by region, data by the girls, boys, and I also analyze department-wise and where are they placed. How can I bring value add when they join as an alumni? So you can get lot of insights. I'm just giving you an example. You can play around with lot of insight, but especially what is the problem that you're trying to solve, you through the data, through the lens. Basis the problem, I'm going to use this data for these purposes. Like that, bank is generating every minute terabytes of data. You know what? August 2025, you know what was the UPI transaction in India? Any guesses? August 2025, what is the volume of UPI transactions in India? Any guesses? Hard guess. I don't have chocolates to give, but yeah, I can give. Yes. Any guesses? India UPI system. Everybody is using UPI? Everybody is familiar what is UPI? Any hard guesses on August 2025, 1 month of UPI volume?
5 trillion.
It's too much. But yeah, any tries, please try, it's okay. It's in billions, not in million. Okay, sorry, somebody closer.
25 lakh approx.
It's 20 billion. 20 billion per month volume of UPI transaction in India. Imagine India as the digital economy has really grown. What do they have? They have 20 billion data. 20 billion data. It is your data, your UPI handle, your name, your identity. Everything sits with UPI. So imagine India as a powerful economy, how data plays a major role. So harnessing data in banking is very, very important. I'll tell you, every tap that you do, every tap in a machine that you do, or every debit card swipe, or every POS transactions, or every online transactions that you do, all those data that we capture. Earlier, when you go to the bank, your bank manager will know only you as a person, right? Account number. They'll call you the account number, name, and relation. Now, my bank, when I have a relationship with multiple banks, they know me personally. Oh, Aishwarya likes to do travel. She likes going for a foreign countries, trips. How do they know that? Your transaction, right? And why it is so relevant? Why do a bank, you might have to ask this question, right? Why do a bank should know about you first of all? See, we are in an era of Netflix and Instagram, right? I'll give you an analogy of Netflix, so all of you can easily relate it. You're watching a series in Netflix. So, what will happen? After a series is being watched, another series will be prompted to you, which is of the similar genre, similar interest and other things. So it's a kind of a recommendation engine that plays a role there, which kinds of give you the information, right? So we cannot deny that we are in an era of instant gratification, which means that we want things. We swig it, get it. We blink it, we get it. What does it mean? Our minds and our personality, you don't deny with me, right? Our personality even changed that we want instantly. We want things to be done. So bank has to really, change the way it operates. It cannot operate in the old school ways. No more checks, no more visiting the branch. We are going branchless. We are spending whatever the cost that's being spent on the operation side, on the branch banking, it's been closed, shut down. Many branches have been shut down in many banks. The reason is that we wanted to also be in the relevance in the market, relevance in the society. So somebody is using Netflix, you would expect your banking application also similar fashion. So you see somebody who is, paying a bill, paying a maternity bill, immediately would get a notification saying there is a child care offers available. Do you want to avail it? And you will also see many times when you book a flight ticket, immediately you get a message saying there is a Forex card offers available. Why does it matter? Because data is a currency. Everybody says data is an oil, but as a banker, I will say data is a currency. The reason is that, how do I use that data to make money out of it in an ethical way, with a governance undergoing, right? So that is how you have to change. That is a mindset change. Mind shift is really required when you handle with data. Because when you see the data, if I show the same data to 10 different people, 10 different perspectives will come, right? So from the bank's perspective, the first and foremost thing that you want to use data is for the personalization. You know what McKinsey has said? A bank can just increase 5 to 15% of the retention, of the customer retention, just by giving hyper-personalization. We are building hyper-personalization apps. What does it mean? It's bespoke, tailor-made for you. You'll feel good, right? You will wear to like, you will love to wear suits which is tailor-made, right? So fit and yeah, it's made for me. And it's personalized. It gives you a good feel. And similarly in banking, people want personalization. I'm not just talking about the retail customer segment. I'm even talking about a corporate segment where I deal with big companies each and every day. We used to talk to them, we used to transact with them. They will say, if you're not giving me the personalized experience, we will walk off. So you need to understand and operate in a way that you know the person better. For that, what you need? You need to know them better as their data. What all they do, what is the business, what is the day in and day out information, right? So that is what important from the banking perspective, just that one area. And where data is very critical for banking, I hope everybody will agree to me, is the risk and fraud. Now with so much of advance with AI and we talk, AI is something becoming like a second nature for all of us. We say AI everywhere. Abused words, most abused words is ChatGPT. Everywhere people talk about this. But underlining that comes with a heavy challenge for all of us. Especially bankers, we do a lot of challenges. You know what, we deal with a lot of regulators. RBI is one of the tough regulation, HKMA in Hong Kong, MA is in Singapore. So every country comes with a certain regulation and risk and fraud activities to be detected. See, those days, when you are in Chennai, when you're using a card, and the same card details is swiped in Dubai, you would know only when you get your transactional monthly statement, oh, somebody has misused my card, or somebody has stolen your card and used it. I'm telling about the scenario 20 years back. But now, it had happened recently to me in 2 months back. My credit card details is being tampered, and there was a purchase happened in Alibaba site in China. I got a call at 3 a.m. from Standard Chartered Bank saying there is some fraud happening, can you block your card? So which means from reactive, it becomes proactive. The transaction has not happened, they blocked the transaction. How do they block the transaction? I could have even done it, right? Think about it. I could have even done that, but they know me very well. Means, this is a pattern. What do? They study you. See, its data is nothing but not gathering your information and putting in OLAP and OLTP databases. It's not that. It's really not that. It's about closely monitoring. See, we have millions of transactions coming to our platform every day. And billions of volumes, value. I'm talking about the value of the payment. Even one client will make 10 billion payment. Value I'm talking about. So what they'll do, they have to monitor it closely. So how do I get that call? Which means somebody would have, the system would have prompted the alert mechanism saying there is an anomaly there. There is a disconnect in the pattern. This person has never brought it from Alibaba site at all. And this seems suspicious in a different IP, different location it is coming. So it could be a potential fraud. So they have blocked the transaction. They call me to check. Are you the one who's making? No. Let's say immediately you can block your card from your mobile. See, imagine how it has become very seamless. See, that's how the power of data is, right? I can even sit in my home at night 3 a.m. and I can block the card at instant click of a button. So it avoids what? Financial risk, not just for the customer, but for the bank as such. So fraud and risk monitoring is very, very paramount important, especially in banking. So we used to constantly think about that. When we kind of, onboard our corporate banking clients, it will take 15 days in our bank. 15 working days to onboard a corporate client to Standard Chartered Bank. Now we take about 1 business day. So it's an innovation. We change the process, we simplify it, we do self-service. Even for retail clients, you don't need to walk into a branch to open an account. Everything you can do through your Face ID authentication, your voice-based authentication, and your biometric authentication with Aadhaar-based thing. You can sit in a home, open a bank account, do everything. You don't even know where your bank branch exists. See, that is something, innovation is something important. For that, the banks are relying on the data pattern, understanding the group. So, sir talked about different age, right? Right from Gen Zs and Alpha kids now. I have Alpha kids at home. It's very smarter. My son orders everything through voice-based search in Amazon. So I have to get away from all linked cards and everything. Otherwise, the payment would have happened and things would have gone. So innovation, when you're talking about innovation, it becomes more relevant that you have to pace with these new competitors. Bank is really trying hard, I would say, to find a market presence. Because Google Pay is taking the market share. Nobody is using, how many of you, tell me honestly, you pay via Google Pay or you go to retail banking app? Google Pay, right? Then what will we do in the bank's business? What will happen to retail banking? Imagine. Why retail banks in Citibank closed, shut down the operation in India? Why many foreign banks are shutting down their operations of retail banking? Think about it. Because you get a convenience. People go with convenience. Boss, same payment, only scan, I can do it, right? You can pay 1 rupee, minimum 5 rupee, 10 rupee to a petty shop owner. Kibana stores. We go to Kibana stores. Those days we have this account in a book. Now everything via Google Pay, Paytm. So banks are constantly struggling a lot to find their market share. So that is why they are relying on data to understand what sort of personalization, how can I hook them? Instagram is putting reels, every photos, reels are getting in nanoseconds, it's coming up. Bank is trying the same strategy of hyper-personalization and bringing such innovation. For that, enhancing the customer importance and innovating the product designs are very much important. If you see the banking screens, every screen is revamped. Every retail banking application is getting revamped. And I have been personally for a bank in India, which is in Jaipur. In my previous organization I used to work, I built a 101 app. We conceptualized 101, which means anything you name it, that will be in the app. You want to book a flight ticket, you can book it. You want to book a taxi, you can book it. You want to book a hotel, you can. So why banks are doing that? You must ask this question, right? It is a bank. Why would a bank do such things? Because they are losing their market share. They want to be relevant with the people. They want to understand Gen Zs. They want to understand how I retain Gen Z customer. How I bring new age group people. What are the things? We did a lot of innovation in mobile banking. You can shake the phone or approved. You can just shake the phone, it's approved. We did it in bank in Vietnam. So the reason I'm saying all of this is that innovation is constant. For that, understanding is important. Deep depth and breadth of understanding of people, understanding of their pattern, understanding of your market is very, very critical. So hence, harnessing data in bank is something that cannot be avoided. So this is a very important and interesting topic, right? Any guesses on episodic and interactive? You're all data students. Anyone want to guess? Talk about episodic data. See, episodic data. Once the banking relies on. How many of you heard of MIS? MIS is like very. Every one of us has grown hearing such terms. MIS. Now, nobody want. People talk about any corporate that you work in a bigger corporate. You talk about quarterly report review, monthly report review. Boss, people have lost patience. Lost literally patience. I would like to use that word. Because everybody wants data real time. Once in a monthly, I don't know how many of you all, sir, are using your monthly statement from the bank. No, everybody wants a daily reconciliation. Every day reconciliation, every minute. I'm working with bigger corporates. They want real-time reconciliation of a cross-border payment. Is that settled? We are doing a real-time, now the world is changing. Real-time cross-border payments are going to happen. It's happening via certain countries. So which means, one thing fundamentally, as the world, not just India, as a world, we have all changed in our habits. We are all changed in our habits. We are restless. We have to accept it. Nobody can say, no, I'm okay. I'm okay if I get my report in 10 days. No. You want everything in an instant because even people have lost the patience. They don't even, they don't even have to wait for the traffic. They constantly look on the Google Maps. How many of you constantly see Google Maps when you're traveling? Anyone here? See? Why? Earlier how we travel, we know we'll reach the destination. Whenever we reach, we'll reach, that's it. But why we are checking on Google Maps, which is predicting, okay, that could be a traffic. It's a prediction again, it's a data. That is a prediction has happened because this is what it is, right? So, with that interactiveness, how does it work, right? Then you should constantly learn from the data, constantly learn the traffic, constantly get the mapping done, and you say, oh yes, that'll be a traffic this time and this is my destination, and you keep changing. In Ola and Uber, right, I see my friend sitting next to me, always constantly saying, oh, we will reach in 6:50, oh, we'll reach in 6:55. I'm like, what? We will reach there, it's okay. But that's how it's happening. So nobody is bothered about episodic data. I don't know why banks, we stopped sending all this physical emailers. Waste of paper, eco-friendly now, banks are becoming eco-friendly, we stopped doing it. But more than that, it is not relevant. If you are getting a statement and telling, okay, you bought this in this month and this is what you recon. No, I want to know immediately when I go into a mobile application, I can say, oh, this is my outstanding balance and this is a return payment from Amazon. I returned it, it got credited immediately. So you can see the difference, right? So which is the episode? See, same analogy I want to give you. When you watch Netflix, we used to watch cable TV in 1990s. I don't know, 1990s, we had a cable TV at home. Every week only there will be an episode that get released. So we'll have to wait for the other episode with anxiousness. Oh, what will happen? What is the next thing going to come? That was an excitement. We were in that era, we had excitement, oh, this will come. And what will happen? But sitting in one at a stretch, 12 episodes completed. Streaming, data is streaming, 12 episodes completed. Which means people are changing the ways. So why should a bank be old school then? So interactive data is what making relevance. Because why interactive data matters, it gives so much of opportunities for the bank. I can cross-sell. See, in Amazon, if you do a purchase, it will not stop you. It's called hooking. It will not stop you. Say, oh, 10 people have brought this also together. 5 people have bought this also together. How do you want this as an offer coming? So, this is impulsive buying habit. Impulsive buying. You went for buying certain things, but you end up in buying so many things without even knowing that you're doing it. And similar behavior, which is called cross-selling, right? You are trying to buy something and I'm trying to put certain things also to you. We built certain apps in Singapore. It's a government app. They said 10,000 walk challenge. Singapore is a government where they are very much care about the citizens. So if you complete 10,000 steps, You get a premium in your insurance payment for certain things recently did. So which means that certain companies are promoting for the health benefit. At the same time, they're trying to understand and get the pattern data from you and trying to input that in your day-to-day products and lifestyle things, right? So interactive data gives an opportunity in lot of ways, especially with lot of AIs coming. The personalization is very much important. Everybody feels personalized is something, the go-to thing. Everybody feels personalization is what I am taken care of. My needs or relevance is very, very critical, because the offers that you get, sometimes you get offers, and most of you see after every Google Pay you're getting an offer, right? You get that scratch card. How many of you have used it? How many of you used it? Google scratch card? Used it? Good. Why most of you all not used it? Not useful. Very good. I never used it. Because this is where Google Pay has to spend. They need to know you better. Your good name? Sharon. Sharon. Okay. So, Google Pay has to know her better. Then only what your likes and dislikes, accordingly, if what are things that you do? Just sorry, taking you as an example. Clothes. Yeah. So if she get an offer from Biba, would you buy that? Yeah. So if she gets some offer which is not even relevant to her, ignoring, right? So you are missing an opportunity. You're big time missing an opportunity, because now imagine, now you correlate, you have a data, right? But are you using the data properly? No. So having data is not going to bring anything. Sitting on a data is not going to generate revenue, generate value. Using the data appropriately, diligently, and with an outcome-driven approach is what the strength of the analytics. That is what data analytics, right? So if there is a data analytics person, would have, understood you better ways, understood you which offer would excite you. How can I convert CTA, call to action? How many people click the links? Nobody do it. But how can I make you to click that button, complete the purchase process? Many people will go till last minute and we don't do purchase, right? These are the data we will take and understand, and we talk to client. Sometimes we do a lot of user co-creation, user experimentation, research with a lot of clients, and say why halfway through they went back to the journey. So these are all important because we are trying to do a data dialogue. It's called data dialogue. Because real time you're getting information, real time you're getting all the things fed on to you. That's the data dialogue. That's how the transformation is happening in industry. See, this is my favorite topic because I'm working in a space of embedded finance and payments. We know banks as only visible thing, right? Earlier days, your bank name is visible and everything, which means something very personal. We keep bank as an entity, something personal. But many of us wouldn't know today what is the underlying bank when I do a payment. Which account does it belong? I don't know. You're paying to XYZ person. Do you know which account they have? No. Right? So it's all through your APIs. It's all through behind the scenes that there is an embedded payments. And why they are embedding a financial product in a non-financial ecosystem? Have you ever thought? You go to Flipkart, they'll say you apply for a credit card. You go to Amazon, you say you can purchase some banking products, right? But why do they do such things? It's called embedding a financial journey in a non-financial part, which is like your lifestyle app, or even in Instagram there are many things you can do an immediate purchase and then without even getting out of the app. Have you ever done that? You got some products there and you can purchase it, it will give you a link, you can complete the payment there itself. So what is it all telling about is the invisible engine behind the scene, which is nothing but your data and how the information, everything behind it. See, you can think, I can scan a QR code and get the payment done. But behind this, there are 10 different things that are happening, which is like analyzing your patterns, analyzing the fraud, analyzing your anomalies there. So a lot of things that are happening behind this ecosystem of things. So the current shift, what is happening is the data becomes more relevant, and it also, this pattern has also got certain, I would say, risk also involved. So when you're talking about few things, I would like to talk about data AI hallucination. Have you heard of this term, AI hallucination? So AI hallucination is nothing but, you know, sir talked about garbage in, garbage out, right? Exactly what you feed in, what you get out. So even your chat GPT-5, they're not relying on GPT-5 also, because they're saying you're getting hallucinated data. The reason is that it will give you plausible content outcome only, not then accurate. So what we used to do, really for our research and work, we get data from ChatGPT, we go to Perplexity, validate in Perplexity, and we go to LM, Notebook LM, we generate the output, and then we kind of validate it, right? So imagine, even the AIs or output are not 100% accurate. So what is underlying? How do you train models? That's why people talk about reinforcement training. Have you heard of it? Reinforcement, you time and again. It's not like, oh, you train the model once, done and dusted, gone. That is not, guys, you have to understand clearly. How do you really think about it? See, more than analyst, you all think about a strategist, I would say. How can I make a strategy of using the data? How can I bring out of a value here? That's the critical part where you find yourself employable. I can definitely tell them. So let's take the same example of AI hallucination. You have to think about how this can be better trained. That's how the models are being built. See, we are now shifting our mindset in building an application for an autonomous agent. We are now talking to people, our UX experts, how an autonomous agent behavior would be. I need to understand that. I need to pattern that. So it's a continuous evolution of things. It's a continuous change. You have to adapt how things are drastically changing. So you may talk about AIs and everything, but fundamentally with data, with risk also comes. You cannot, it's closely coupled, tightly coupled. For releasing one API, I'll tell you, the development effort would take, development of building an API will take 2 weeks for us, for example, 3 weeks for the governance process. I have to go to, financial council, risk governance council, DRAs, there are a lot of this data risk assessment. So privacy, because some APIs have PI2 data, which is your private data information. So I had to go to a different council. So I'm saying an example in the bank, doing a process is simple, but doing a data part is very, very difficult. Because you have to handle data with care, with ethics. See, many of you unknowingly give your mobile number. I won't give my mobile number in a retail store. I don't give my mobile number when I go and buy in lifestyle. I don't want the points, it's fine. Because you're selling your data. You have to understand, you guys have to really understand and see how can I use the data in a right way. How can I make use of the data so that can be used in an ethical way. So when you are selling your data, when you are giving your information, then it's kind of diluting the whole thing. Similarly, every organization, how many of you have generated Gemini picture? Raise your hands. Gemini sari photo pics for ladies and Gemini recent trend. Nobody has done that? One person only. I thought everybody would have tried. No? Gemini recent trend. So how many of you are very confident that your data is very safe with Gemini? So this is the data literacy. What is data literacy? You should understand how your data will be. Do Gemini get a consent from you? We do get consent from our clients in order to use their data for our insights. Without their consent, even we have a service called payment pre-validation, where before making a payment, we will have to validate the beneficiary details. But this service itself, we will not be able to do it unless otherwise we get a consent from the client to share the data. If somebody is checking for my information from Citibank, Aishwarya as having an account in Standard Chartered should get me a permission saying I can share your beneficiary information for the validation purpose. If I don't give the consent, we don't read the consent documents, we just sign the retail banking documentation. We don't have the data literacy. Without consent, bank cannot use your data. Similarly, you all should understand, forget about banking, forget about industry. How are you dealing with your personal data day in and day out? That is a data literacy every one of you should have. Which means you will understand, oh, if I feed my data here in social media, how will it get reflected? Because with data you can do a lot of things. I can understand you, you know you better. So how much you want to share to public, how much you want to expose yourself outside is critical, right? So with data, 3 things you always should remember, which is data literacy. First of all, where and which data you should use. You cannot use, even you have thousands of data with you, that doesn't mean you can use all the data. And second is the strategy. How are you going to implement it? And ethics and governance. These are very, very critical when you deal with data. Without which, you will not be able to build a solution, build a scalable things, properly. See, with AI is an advent of, now ma'am also talked about the future AI. So we are in generative AIs. It's also going to a next stage, which is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which means that you have a competitor next to you who is not your friend anymore. It's AGI. You're going to compete with one other people who will also be able to do your job similar to you, at par with you, or more than you. Imagine. So what does it make? It's not something you should get scared of. Oh, many people talk to me, when I talk to many people in industry, or when I do mentoring, ma'am, will my job go? Why should you think about it? It doesn't mean, when automation happened, our job didn't go, right? We evolved. So what does it mean for you as a students? You have to evolve with industry. You have to constantly see how can I equip AI in order to do my job very proficiently. You will be replaced when you are in Xynos, when you don't know where to use it, how to be. You should make AI as your friend. I have many agents created. I have many personal GPTs created which do all my recommendations to me every day. I created my own GPTs. The reason is that I don't want to spend time in doing my mundane jobs. I want to spend my energy in innovation. I want to spend my time, if I get an additional 1 hour, I'd like to spend with my boys at home. Instead, why should I do this? I'll automate stuff. See, you have to change the rationale, change the narratives. Please don't go with the narratives where people say your jobs will be taken by AI. That's not true. That's really not true. That is only for those who are not able to relate themselves or who are not able to connect and learn how to use AI. If you are good enough, see, if you are doing a data modeling, if I give you do a data modeling for a particular use case or come out with a data architecture, if you are using 10 days, instead you use AI, get some ideas, and you improvise it. See, all AIs will give you a kind of go-to path. But end of the day, where to lead is something in your hands. So I would like to end my closing note, right? Whenever you are in crossroads, now we are all in a crossroads with AI, there are 2 ways to go about it, right? One, it's always smooth, no pressure, nothing, but you will end up being a mediocre. But if you are taking another path, where it's a rational one, it may be risk, it may have uncertain things, but you will end up the journey. You will be seeing yourself in a transformative way. So choose a wise one, and I'm wishing you all a great success for Synaptic event, and it's really going to be great, great one, I believe. And thank you all for listening to me. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening discourse and for sharing your expert insights. As we celebrate Synaptic 2526, we also take pride in another milestone with our students, the unveiling of the placement brochure, a reflection of our students' talent, potential, and aspirations. I invite our respected faculty coordinator, Dr. N. Sinovasan, whose constant guidance and dedication have been instrumental in shaping the placement journey of our students. It is my pleasure to invite Ms. Pavitra, Chairperson of Synaptic 2526, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Management Studies, Pondicherry University, it is my privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks on this special occasion. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Ms. Aishwarya Balasubramanian, Director, Standard Chartered Bank, for joining us today and sharing such inspiring thoughts. Your words have truly added value to this inauguration, ma'am, and will serve as a great source of motivation for our students. A special note of thanks to Professor K. Tarnik Arsu, Director of Studies at Educational Innovations and Rural Reconstruction, Pondicherry University, for gracing this event with his presence and encouraging us with his guidance. Thank you, sir. We are deeply grateful to our Dean, School of Management, Professor P. Natarajan, for his constant encouragement and for being a source of inspiration in all our academic pursuits. Our sincere gratitude to our head of the department, Professor P. Kasilingam, for his warm welcome and for being the driving force behind the department's academic and professional excellence. A warm thanks to Dr. S. Kavanmeri ma'am, Faculty Coordinator, for introducing the theme of this event and for her tireless efforts in making this program a reality. Today's inauguration marks the beginning of Synaptic 2526, our Industry Institute Interface Program, a platform that bridges the industry and the academic, providing our students with invaluable exposure to real-world practices and professional insights. We look forward to the enriching sessions and interactions that lie ahead. Finally, I wish to thank our distinguished guests, also to all our faculty members, our staffs, students, and those who have come together for making this event a success. With gratitude, I once again thank each and every one of you for being part of this memorable inauguration. Thank you.